Hi, and welcome to the Bible Story House. Hope you have a great day. Long ago, in a perfect place called the Garden of Eden, God created the very first people, Adam and Eve. They lived in a world that was beautiful beyond imagination. Every tree was filled with fresh fruit, every river sparkled in the sunlight, and every animal lived in peace. Adam and Eve had everything they needed: food, joy, and most importantly, friendship with God Himself. God gave them only one command: you may eat fruit from any tree in the garden, but do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat from it, you will surely die. It was a simple rule, but it was also a test of trust and obedience. One day, as Eve walked through the garden, she came near that tree. Its fruit looked delicious, glowing in the sunlight. Suddenly, a serpent appeared. This was no ordinary creature. It was being used by the enemy of God. The serpent whispered slyly, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve replied, "We may eat fruit from the trees, but God said not to eat from this one, or even touch it, or we will die." The serpent shook its head and hissed, "You will not die. If you eat this fruit, you will become wise, just like God, knowing good and evil." Eve looked again at the fruit. It looked tasty. She imagined being as wise as God. Slowly she reached out, picked the fruit, and took a bite. Then she gave some to Adam, who was with her. He ate too. The moment they tasted it, something changed. Their eyes were opened. They realized they were naked, and for the first time they felt shame. Quickly they sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. That evening they heard the sound of God walking in the garden. Usually this was the best part of the day. But now, instead of running to Him, Adam and Eve hid among the trees. God called out, "Adam, where are you?" Trembling, Adam answered, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, so I hid." God asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Did you eat from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam blamed Eve. "The woman you put here with me, she gave me the fruit, and I ate of it." Eve blamed the serpent. "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." But God knew the truth. Disobedience had entered the world, and with it, sin and death. God spoke judgment. To the serpent, He said, "You are cursed. One day, the offspring of the woman will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." This was the very first promise of a Savior, Jesus, who would one day defeat sin and evil. To Eve, God said that life would become painful and hard. To Adam, He said the ground would be cursed, and food would come only through sweat and toil. Then God made garments of skin to clothe Adam and Eve, showing that even in judgment, He still cared for them. But He sent them out of the garden so they would no longer eat from the tree of life. Adam and Eve left Eden with heavy hearts. The world would never be the same, but there was still hope. God had promised a way of salvation, a Redeemer who would restore what was lost. This story reminds us that disobedience brings pain and separation from God. But it also reminds us of His love. Even when Adam and Eve failed, God made a way for forgiveness. And the same is true for us today. When we fall, God invites us back through Jesus, the Savior promised from the very beginning.